Hello everybody, it's Marg with Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada, and welcome to my first video of 2024. A few things that I want to address before we get started. There'll be a few changes this year. My videos are going to be posting on Wednesday mornings as opposed to Tuesday mornings like last year. That's one change that you'll see. So if you have your notifications set, you'll be notified for Wednesday morning. I still will be focusing on easy layouts. I think those are things that a lot of you are looking for, and that's what you've told me. But occasionally I will throw in a 3D project, a technique possibly, and maybe a fun fold. So you'll just have to watch for those. The new mini catalog goes live tomorrow. I have a copy of it on my desk, which you'll see when I turn my phone back down. And along with that is our celebration brochure. And if you're not familiar with that, it's when you order out of either the annual catalog or the mini catalog, $60 earns you a free product out of the celebration. And there are 14 different things that you can choose from. 12 of them are at the $60 level and 2 of them are at the $120 level. So I am not able to show you the inside of the catalog yet, but I can show you one of the products that I have. If you haven't watched some of my videos, I have used this paper already, but I'm going to share it with you today, the Flight and Airy paper. All right, so I'm going to turn you down to my desk, and I do have a card that we're going to do today, an easy layout using 6x6 paper, and it uses almost all of it. So I always like that, and it's cutting it strategically so that you use it the best way that you can. Okay, I'm going to turn you down to my desk and I'll show you what I've got on there. Okay, there we go. I've got a lot of things on my desk here that you can see we're going to be using. I'll just move them kind of out of the way. You can see the paper that I'm going to be using today, but I'll get to that right away. There's the front cover of the mini catalog. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to earn your business, and you could contact me via my website, which is margaretgorn.stampinup.net, and I could get a catalog into your hands if you like. And there's the celebration brochure that goes along with it. So, and we still have our annual catalog. So when you're ordering, you can order out of this catalog or out of the new mini catalog starting tomorrow, and you will earn celebration items. Okay, that's our housekeeping, I think. Oh, I was going to show you the Flight and Airy paper. That's one of the celebration items that you can earn. It's 12 by 12 paper, and if you haven't watched some of my videos from last year, the paper, I have used this paper. It's really cute birds on it. So there's that one. And all of our paper, the regular paper, is double-sided. So I will flip this over so you can see the other side. But all of these have the birds on them in different variations. Really pretty paper. And this piece, which I only have this much left of it, because I've used it all up. But if you flip it over, there's that one. And the colors, there's so many colors in this. There's boho blue, there's bubble bath, and you'll see the bubble bath on this side. Calypso coral, crumb cake, pecan pie, daffodil delight, flirty flamingo, fresh freesia, garden green, lost lagoon, that's this one here, misty moonlight, and soft sea foam. So it's really pretty paper. And these sheets I think are lovely, just like a watercolor wash in the boho blue and the, I'm going to say that's bubble bath or fresh freesia, possibly. All right, so that's one of the things that I've already received out of the celebration catalog. Being that I am a demonstrator, we were able to order a few things earlier, and so those are the things that I got. Now, if you have watched some of my videos, I did the fractured technique, and I used that paper. So there's a sample of it. And then I used it again in a spotlight technique. And another choice for a spotlight just by using a punch to punch them out. So those are some samples of that. All right, so let's get on with our card today. You can see I have a piece of 6x6 designer series paper out here, and it's from the Hello Irresistible 6x6 paper. It is an online exclusive, so when you're shopping you have to go to the online store to find it. So I took this one sheet of paper. Now I've already cut it, but I've laid it out here so that you can see what I did. What you're going to want is I'm going to lay this here so you can also see it. This is what I do when I'm planning. I cut things out of just regular computer paper. So you're going to want a 3x5 piece and a 3x4 piece. So however that looks on your designer series paper. You're also going to be left with a 1x6 strip and a 1x3 strip. So that's how it looks the way I cut this piece of paper. But because I wanted the 3x5 and the 3x4 to have mostly the pattern, I didn't want to cut my 1x6 piece off the bottom here. I cut it off the top. So there's my 1x6 piece, but it depends on your paper. You have to look at your paper. Then so I did that first, cut the 1-inch piece straight across. Then I cut a 3x5 piece. So that's this piece. And then I looked at this piece and I want it to be 3x4. So what I had to decide is, did I want most of the design or did I want this little bit at the top? So what I ended up doing is cutting that off. That's the 1-inch piece, so that I've got mostly the design. So that's the way that piece was cut. It depends on what you're using for paper, what you're going to want for how you cut it. It can be cut this way. If we were to look at it differently, it could be cut like this, just depending on what you want out of your paper. So you have to look at your piece of paper first and decide which piece you're kind of going to get rid of. This 1x6 has to be cut first. All right, so that's the way I did that. Now, this card that we're making today is going to be put onto a regular card base. This is Pretty Peacock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded like this. It is going to be a tent fold card, so it's going to sit like this. So the fold is at the top. So what I've proposed to do with this is, I liked both sides of this paper, so I wanted 2 different patterns. So I'm going to do this there and this piece somewhere like this. Okay, and then this piece can be used on the inside, either side you want, or you could use this piece on the inside, either side you want. So we'll decide on that after. Now, I was looking at this and I have the Irresistible Blooms stamp set here. Again, it's an online exclusive. And in this, there are some really interesting dies. This one I had not used yet. And I thought, you know, it is an interesting one and I want to give it a go. So I cut it out using the Pretty Peacock cardstock, and I put our paper on the sticky paper on the back so that I could just peel it off, right? So because this is going to be very hard to hook on to your paper, however you're going to do it. Now, I didn't know what I want to do with this, but I've got that there. So just so you know, that's where that came from. Now, when I was looking at my layout here, I like it well enough, but I thought it just needed something else. So what I ended up doing is I ended up cutting Lost Lagoon cardstock just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So this piece was 3x5. So this piece is 3 1/8 by 5 1/8. So it's just that 1/8 inch bigger, just to give it that edge on it. I just think that looks a bit better, just to sort of lift these off. So you don't have to do this, but I think that looked a bit nicer, finished the edges a bit better maybe. I'm not sure what I'm thinking, but I just like the look of it better. I did use, for my greetings, Nature's Prints, which is this one. And again, I encourage you just to go to your stash of stamps and see what you have. And I stamped, best wishes and happy thoughts onto a piece of white, and I cut it with the Stylish Shapes banner, and I just cut the banner end at one end and didn't do it on the other end. Didn't need it, and I don't know where I'm going to put it, but that's what I'm putting on the front. And for the inside, I've used my deckled rectangles, which you know I like to use for the inside, and I've stamped happy birthday, and that happy birthday came from Beautiful Balloons, and the little confetti comes from that stamp set. So that's going on the inside, and I don't know what I'm going to do with these DSP pieces yet, but I'm going to figure that out. So we are going to put this together. I am going to use my liquid glue, Tombow liquid glue. I will bring in my silicone mat, and we'll start getting this put together. So first off, we can put this piece on. Gotta get my glue started. I haven't used this glue for a bit. I've been not crafting too much over the holidays. I hope you got some crafting in over the holidays. I took a break and wasn't doing too many things. My son has a birthday New Year's Eve, so I had to make a card for him, but I did that, and my granddaughter has a birthday in January, so I've got a card ready for that. But other than that, I haven't really been, finished up Christmas and just was really just gonna take a break and have some family time and not do too much crafting. Sorry, this glue is going to give me a hard time today. I'm just trying to unplug it a little bit so that it'll flow. And once you get the glue flowing, you want it to get all your pieces glued on here. So this just gives you that tiny little edge around. But like I said, I really liked the way that it looked. It just finished it off onto this card. So now these pieces are just put wherever you want. So I think I'm going to center this piece on this one. You can place it wherever you'd like. It doesn't have to be centered. You could have it closer to the top, closer to the bottom, closer to one side. Boy, this glue is really not wanting to flow. So you can see that I want my two edges even, as close as I can. So that looks good. And then for this, I want to put this piece. I just didn't know how I wanted to put that on there. If I wanted to run that behind, but then I thought, oh, you're going to lose most of it, but that still looks good, I thought. And then maybe put this down here. I kind of like the look of that. So I'm going to take your pick tool and peel this off. Now, I don't know if I even need to do that. You can usually get it with a fingernail, but it's going to be a bit tricky because there's so many pieces of it. As you can see, it probably, this is a very delicate die cut, so you don't want it to rip. But you can see how this is going to go. Like I said, I hadn't used this yet, and I really wanted to use it on a card, and I've seen a really nice card done with this, but I just haven't had time. There's so many ideas, just not enough time to do them all. Oh, how I wish that I had a lot of time. Well, there we go. That looks pretty good. Get this off of here. There, without ripping anything. That's garbage, that backing. And now you can see how this kind of stretches out of shape, but I think maybe I'll put it up top here. And I'm going to place it down. Now I know I'm going to have to cut off this end. I can see that already. But I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Now I do need scissors to get this off. I guess I should have done this before I glued this whole thing down, eh? That would have maybe made more sense, but we'll do the best we can with this. See how that looks. I think that looks all right. So that's an interesting die. Like I said, I hadn't used it before, so I thought, well, I want to give it a go on this card. And it mimics the paper here because the paper has that on it. All right, then I think to not cover it all up, I'd put it like that and then put my best wishes here. I think that looks good. I'm going to need some dimensionals. So I'm going to put this on and hopefully, oops, it won't be too bulky here. I did look at even using ribbon, but I don't think this is going to require much of anything. There's the little blurby that was giving me a hard time there. Okay, now I want to put this so we can see some of those bubbles. And you can see I've just left a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. And it should be fine over that. And then this I'm going to put up on dimensionals. And like I said, I brought in the Festive Pearls because they do have that lighter green, which I think kind of looks like the Lost Lagoon. They just call it green, but I kind of thought it looked like a Lost Lagoon color. So I'm putting, I'm putting dimensionals on the back of my greeting and pop those backs off like that. And get this on here. And I think I'm just going to put it, I think I might stick it right to the outside edge of the card there. There we go. All right, so there is our layout. You can see it there. And I do have one more card to show you, but we'll finish this one off first. I'm going to put this in the inside, Happy Birthday. And I thought I either would put this maybe just down the side like that or underneath it like that. Just not sure. You can decorate these any way you like. I should have cut it maybe. Or I often put it along the bottom like that. I think maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just put this piece along the bottom. So what I do when I go to glue these so that I know I'm not getting glue where it doesn't need to be, I lay it up against the end of my card and I know how long it is. And I'm going to put this right down at the bottom. I usually leave a bit of a space, but today I'm not going to. Today I'm just going to do it like that. And yes, it hangs over. And yes, I'll have to trim it with my scissors. So I can do that, turn the card over, and then just snip it off like that. Got a few pieces here that need to go in the garbage, obviously. All right. And then I'm going to put this in. And that still leaves me enough room to write. You can put a bigger white piece in if you choose. Usually I don't have that much to say in my card, so just to whoever it is and a little bit of writing. All right, so there's that. I will use my take your pick tool and we'll put some of these green. I've got 3 right here that I'm going to choose. Wonder, they kind of blend, whoops, quite a bit, so just have to be careful with that. So there's one. I put my embellishments odd numbers. Just thinking, should there have been one on? I sometimes don't like to put them on what I've raised up with dimensionals, because when they go through the mail, then they are, that would look good on there, wouldn't it? Maybe put one there. And one there. There. That looks good. All right, so those were the Festive Pearls in the green color. You could have used the silver or the gold if you'd wanted. And there we have our card. So I like that layout. It's versatile, and I think it could be used for any kind of paper that you have, and it's really nice. You know, you've got two coordinating pieces, and then the inside like this. All right, so there's our first card. I'll move this out of the way. Now for this one, I used retired paper for this. I do have the paper here. It was called Sunshine and Rainbows. So this is the one I did here. So again, there's your 3x5 piece in the yellow. And there's your 3x4 piece with the rainbows. And this one is done on Night of Navy cardstock. And this is retired Melon Mambo, but I used the Cloud Punch, which is retired also, and a sun from a retired set. And I didn't use extra cardstock behind my DSP on this one. Made this simpler. I used some retired navy blue matte dots, and there's the inside of this one. So, and I used some retired navy blue twine. Now, just that being said, I used the Trucking Along bundle, which is an online exclusive, for the words Sending You Sunny Thoughts, because I thought that fit in here. And on the inside, I just put You're on My Mind, which comes from Nature's Prints, which is what the set I used for this one. And I had marked in my catalog, in the new mini catalog, there is a set that you'll be able to see tomorrow, and it has a cloud die and it has a sun. So if you had paper that coordinated with that, you could use that. Like I said, I just like to go back to things that I own and use them up. So there's our two cards for today, using that same layout. This one stepped up a little bit, using the cardstock behind each piece. And this one I did not use. Now, just so you know, where did that other piece of cardstock go, or DSP go? I used, just so you know, what I had left over from that 6x6 piece. I used the 1x6, and I just had that little piece left over that I cut off, and then all I have left is this. So again, not very much waste for one full sheet of paper. And if you can use both sides, if you can't, like some papers don't coordinate, like this one, both sides. This was the other side of it, so that worked out well. But some papers don't do that well for coordinating back to front, so you might have to use two different sheets of paper. But all right, so that's our layout for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Please contact me through my website if you need a catalog or you would like to place an order. I would love to earn your business for the new year, and I hope everybody has a great week, and I will be back next week.